Hi everybody. Thanks for joining us at the Preferred Venture Center for another Trailblazer Tuesday. Last week we talked about a little bit about why it was important to know your purpose, or your why. And so this week we're going to talk about two different ways to find your purpose. And the first way, which I strongly recommend, this works really good. A guy named Simon Sinek, he wrote a book called Starting with Why. If you go to his website, which is startwithwhy.com, look for a button called Finding Your Why, or Find Your Why. Press it. There's a course you can take. It does cost a little bit of money. It's not bad. I think it's worth every penny, but it's not free. I'm going to summarize his method. And then I have an alternate method. They're a little bit different. They have some pros and cons, but you'll get the picture. Okay. So basically, what Simon Sinek says you should do, and I've done it and it does work, is you start by coming up with stories about your life, about times you are proud of something you accomplished, or at least it doesn't have to always be good. It could be something that was bad that you learned a lesson from, but important stories. And you don't write them all out, you just title them. Okay, so that you can remember them, you'll know the details. All right, now you get that done, and he recommends that you have somewhere between 5 and 10. Then you have to find a partner. And so you find someone, I would recommend someone who knows you a little bit, or somewhat maybe, but not somebody who knows everything about your past, because they'll want to fill in your stories for you. They won't all be new to that person. All right? Then you have to set aside about 3 hours to get together. Your partner has to be briefed a little bit on that they want to ask questions to drag out of you what's important in the stories. Like, why is this important? What do you feel you accomplished? What did you actually do? Those types of things. And they need to take really good notes. So then you get together, someplace obviously reasonably private, because you're telling private stories, so Starbucks is probably not a good plan, all right? And you tell your partner the stories. They take the notes, okay? Now when they take the notes, they get done, then you stop and you step back and you start making some lists. You look at all the stories and you start writing down what you did, the action verbs from all the stories. And if you can group them together, like they're similar, go ahead and do that. And you keep track of your repeats so you know which ones you've done the most. And then you make a list of the impacts you had. And it's the same thing. It's what you did or what it accomplished. Okay? And so you have these two lists, right? Then you step back and the two of you work together to try to come up with what we call a why statement. And a why statement is a statement that says, I blank, maybe blank and blank. Those are two verbs, okay? Something you did, so blank and blank. And this is the impact, okay? So in other words, and I'm not really apologizing if you're dealing with me, you're going to get a little bit of God in this, so I'll tell you what mine is, all right? It says, I inspire and guide as Jesus does, so others can have passionate, fulfilling, eternal lives, okay? So you're looking for verbs and impact. And that's basically Simon Sinek's method. The reason it's going to his website and paying for it is he has videos that tell your partner exactly what to do, and they better explain the type of stories you need, that type of stuff. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. It's very similar to what we did with the business, right? Okay. Now, the other method, and I have outlines for both of these, it will be available on the website, okay? The other method is something I've been doing for years, every year, and I just modified it a little bit. I try to do like a life plan every year, It's like a business plan, and the first part of a business plan is finding your purpose. So I took that part out, modified it just a little, and that's my method. It doesn't require a partner is one of the advantages. And what I did was I look around and I find people that I admire, preferably alive, but they don't have to be. And I'll come up with a list of 5 to 7 people that I admire. And then from those 5 to 7, I'll rank them and who I admire most, and I'll try to stick with the top 3 or 4. And I look at those 3 or 4 people, and then I start making the list. These are the things they accomplished. And they accomplished them by doing that. Now you can see at this point the methods are very, very similar. I'm looking for actions, what they did, and what impact they had. Then I add a third list to it. I add the characteristics of that person that I admire. Okay? When you get done with that, then you end up doing exactly the same thing. You sit down and come up with I blank blank so, and you use the verbs and the impact from the list you made. Some of the advantages and disadvantages, if you look at Simon Sinek's method, you're using your own stories and yourself. So you're finding what's important or what you want or have done with yourself right now, okay? Which is great. And you have a partner, which adds a second point of view to everything, which is wonderful. My method, you're looking at people you admire. The one thing I like about that is we're not always the person we want to be. I'm a firm believer that you are not who you are. You do not have to remain who you are. Your character, everything about you is not static. You can change it. You don't have to be who you are. So if you're putting down people you admire, your statement may become something that you strive to be, which is different than what you are. Okay? So that could be an advantage if that's what you're looking for. And it doesn't require a partner. All right? So that's what I have. I would strongly recommend one method or the other. Both outlines are going to be available on the website. And on Facebook, I'm sure we can link to them that way too. They're downloadable PDFs, 7 pages, because they give you room to write and stuff like that. So, any questions from you guys? Comments? Okay. Well, thanks for joining us for another Trailblazer Tuesday at Preferred Insurance Center. And remember, life's never going to be a walk in the park. So don't just go for a walk, go on an adventure.